Now to a busy day for firefighters in Northern California. The fire danger remains high under red flag conditions with strong winds and dry air. Crews spent the day battling several small fires across the region, and tonight more than 10 vehicles are destroyed and several structures threatened as a grass fire quickly spread in Sacramento. Sacramento Fire called this their first major wildland fire under these conditions, and all on a day when the fire danger was already high, a red flag day. Here's more from ABC 10's Roxanne Elias.
Sunday services at Tip Fellowship Ministries was abruptly disrupted when a grass fire began to spread toward the church near 47th Avenue. Churchgoers walking out to see the flames just feet away.
I think it started off as a small fire, and then all of a sudden with the winds, you see the winds today, it picked up like that really, really quick. Big billows of smoke, black smoke.
Ray Green, the associate pastor at the church, says people began moving their cars as the fire crept up on the fence line. Crews with Sacramento Fire arrived within seconds and evacuated the church.
When they got on scene, this was a very fast-moving fire. We have a heavy north wind today. That's why it's a red flag day. So we have a red flag response, meaning that we're going to have a lot more equipment in addition, responding right from initial dispatch.
Captain Justin Sylvia says the fire then moved toward the Sun Valley apartments. He says a full commercial structure fire response was started to protect people's homes, but it unfortunately reached more than 10 cars parked between the buildings and the field of grass. One of those cars belonged to Luis, who had just run to the store and returned when ABC 10 was on scene. Luis says, well, it's something ugly for me because that's the car I use to get to work every day. The father says he didn't have the appropriate insurance to cover his car being burned and now wonders how he's going to replace it. Captain Sylvia says the cause of the fire is under investigation, but typically these types of fires are human caused. And one thing is for certain.
It's the property owner's responsibility to maintain any type of vegetation or weed abatement that's on their own property.
The church says this isn't the first time a fire has sparked in this field, but with dry grass about 5 feet high, they feel blessed first responders were there to keep the flames from reaching the building.
Too close. We're celebrating our 25th church anniversary. This is the closest a fire has ever been to the building. We're grateful to God, grateful for all the responders. Big shout outs, big help to all of those that came out.
In Sacramento, Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Roxanne, thank you. Sacramento Fire says now is the time to cut down any overgrown vegetation, preferably before 10 in the morning. In the meantime, the church says anyone affected by the fire can reach out to them for assistance with food or clothing. Now, the red flag threat isn't over yet, and so Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods is here to break down what's next.
Tracking our red flag warning conditions through our Monday evening as these higher fire dangers continue for the lower elevations, and that includes the valley all the way into the Delta. Our weather impact alert when through Monday, with our impact being that fire danger, dry, gusty winds need to be fire ready, and that means the go bag and evacuation plan on hand. We're kind of pivoting from the wet time of year into the dry and fire dangerous time of year. So our fire weather is mainly going to persist through our Monday. After that, we're going to be tracking this high pressure ridge. But until the dynamics across the west start to loosen up a little bit, we'll continue to see these gusty winds. Now, we set the stage with some brief hits of some warm weather coming in through the previous work week. But now we're going to continue to add in those dry, gusty winds. So weather impact alert in effect at least through the early evening into our Monday. Highs near 90.
Monica, thank you. And as fires broke out this evening, officials in El Dorado County were out educating people on fire preparedness. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has more from El Dorado Hills.
Combined with the weather, it is this type of dry grass that officials are so concerned about. El Dorado County may be on the edge of the red flag warning area, but there is plenty of dry vegetation to go around, which is why so many people spent the day preparing.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Firefighters showed up in force at Sunday's El Dorado Hills evacuation town hall.
When they pull up to a fire,
but they stayed standing and their radios remained on.
It's ironic, today is a red flag warning day, so we have critical fire weather right now as we're doing this. Crews have been training and getting ready for this, and so we are ready to respond now in case something does come in today or this weekend.
With her concerns now voiced,
we might be getting the fire coming up pretty fast.
Judy Arragati is also ready.
We were going to mow today. We heard that there was a high fire danger if we mowed today, so we hurried up and mowed yesterday.
To create what first responders call defensible space, they recommend at least 100 feet of it around your home.
Go to those trusted sources to get updates.
They also recommend taking other steps to stay set.
Of signing up, with alerts, so emergency alerts, so ready.edso.org, signing up for those, and just setting up, that go bag of important documents that you may need, or those keepsakes, also too, having medications, having food, having water.
In case town hall attendees didn't already have a go bag, there were some available for free. Teresa Reagan took 5.
This is actually from my neighbors. I noticed that they weren't here, and I live in a cul-de-sac, and so I live in our cul-de-sac. We have a lot of elderly community, and so I want to make sure that they are also prepared. So I'm gonna go hand them out to their doors today.
A good neighbor who is prepared during a red flag warning, much like the first responders on standby tonight.
So for us as firefighters, that becomes a more dangerous situation.
But the most important thing is that they are working in coordination and that they are fully aware of all these things.
In El Dorado County, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Gabriel, thank you. Before this morning's town hall, first responders held an evacuation drill in a nearby neighborhood. And with red flag alert conditions continuing into tomorrow night, we want you to stay alert. Right now on the ABC 10 Plus streaming app, you can find an extended weather forecast to stay up to date about this week's weather conditions. Now the app is free to download on your TV.